Good morning, it's Herb again. For this week's video I wanted to show what I've been doing. I started another engine. This is it's called a Silver Bullet, and there's several castings. Let me get the castings out here. You have the oil pan, cylinder block, this back case that goes on the back, a gear cover that will fit in on the front like that. You can see that okay. And we have a couple of rails that will fit on the side here like this to hold it up off the box that it'll be mounted to. So what I've done already, and I have some video that show, I milled the cylinder block top here flat, the base milled it flat, then I milled the oil pan top flat. I mated them together and centerboard through board these two holes. This is for the crankshaft and this is the camshaft, and I drilled it out to 1/2 inch on both of them, then took this one to 700 thousandths and this one to 550, and there will be bearing holders on the front side. In the back side it'll be a bronze bushing. So also I bored and tapped the oil drain plug to 1/4 28, and I still have to do the oil dipstick and the pressure monitor in the sides there. And this was quite challenging to get clamped so I could drill and tap the 4 holes, because anyway, it was pretty challenging. What I did is use some clamps, and I milled this off flat on each side so it'd have something to register there. And I went in with an end mill and just made a little flat on these places here so I could clamp it together, and that allowed me to drill and tap the 4 holes for the oil pan to be attached. And then I went through locating these holes and boring it. So that's primarily what I've been doing this week. I've got a few other items that I planning to do, but I may publish this video before I get those done. But anyway, this engine started, and we'll move along from here. Thought I might show how I do my prints here. I have my clamping kit here, and I've got a magnet, and these 2 large ones there, I just clamp the print on it, and that way it's handy to the mill here. Howdy, it's Herb again. I'm starting another engine today, and this is one of the Bob Shore's engines, castings. I'm working on the cylinder block here, getting the bottom flat This is the what they call the silver bullet. And it's a little two-cylinder engine, and we're going to be working on it for the next few weeks. So anyway, I already have the bottom flat, so we're going to turn it over and do the top of this top of the block now. We've got the block turned over and it's flat on the bottom. It's sitting on the vise. We've got it all secured. So we're going to run it across. This should take minimal, if any, off on this pass. Take it out and measure it now. Should have about 19 thousandths to go. Said we had 21 thousandths to go, so I'm going to take 20 thousandths off here. lapping the bottom of the block where it meets the oil pan. And, this is 220 grit. I'm going to take it down a bit, and then I'll use this 500 grit. Got a Harbor Freight surface plate. That ought to be good enough. Run it over the top here just a bit. We'll work on that later. Okay, got it set up here. I've got the block in the vise at an angle here, and I've got to drill at about a 45-degree angle. It's not real critical, but I'm going to drill into the side of the block here, and this is for the pressure regulator, and going to do that with a it's drilled and tapped for a quarter 28. So we'll center drill it here first. Bring the table up. Okay. Now let's locate where we want to put this thing. Not exact where we need to put it, we'll eyeball it here, and I think that'll be good enough. Okay, right there. Here we go. Got our number 3 drill. guess the camera is really on the wrong side here, but we've got it drilled. Just take it down a bit. Tap in. Instead of putting it in back gear, I just bump the motor, and then you just let the tap go down. So there we go with this. It's that easy. So we got that drilled and tapped, and we'll need to change it to the other side now. Okay, we've got it, the block turned over and tied in the vise, and this one we are just going to bore and ring to a 1/4 inch, and there'll be a tube in there for the dipstick. So we'll just eyeball it again. I think the Y is in pretty good shape. That looks about right there. So let me get this thing set up here, and here we go. This is just under a 1/4 inch drill. Reamer to go in here. This drill chuck is a real problem. I'm going to buy an Aubrey and get rid of this thing, because this is I always have difficulty getting things put in right. See, that's not even look like the table straight. Let's bring it over a bit. Okay, that should work. Here we go. That's bored out to a 1/4 inch. So that completes this portion of it. Howdy folks, it's Herb again. Wanted to show the progress that I've made on my little 2-cylinder engine here. I'll have some shots of the boring operation. Made a lot of mistakes on this thing, and One of them is not checking the tram on my mill, and so I got some dimensions off, and I may not be able to salvage this casting, but I can make another crankcase casting, or not casting, but make it out of a solid piece of 6061, about 3 inches cubed, and so I have that alternative. Go around it here. On the bottom side, they have a drain plug. Made a little drain plug out of aluminum, and it's tapped quarter 28, and then I put a square on it. 5/16 wrench just fits. It's made out of a 3/8 inches of dowel rod. I bored the through board the crankcase, crankshaft journal, and the camshaft journal, and I think they're okay, but I'm not positive yet. I've got to do some measurements. And I have the tappet holes there, and I've made some inserts, and I've got the tappets made, and I'll show those here. The problem came on these cylinder bores, and I used my edge finder to find dead center and on each direction, and yet you can see the center line there that I checked with a caliper, and this one is too close, and so this should be back down that way just a bit. I may be able to correct that when I do the crank, but we'll see. If not, I'll just build another crankcase housing in the lower portion of the head here. Some of the parts that I have, this is the cylinder wall, and these are just supposed to be slip fit down in there, and I still have to mill out a recess for those, and then inside I need to bore a 1/4 inch by 1.25 relief inside there, and I'll have to put that on the faceplate or in the forejaw to do that. Made these little tappets. These are steel with a flat on the end, and this is the tappet guide, and this tappet guides are pressed into here. These are supposed to be out of bronze. These are brass. I didn't have any bronze at the moment, but we'll probably get some bronze and make those. But there's 4 of those, and of course the 2 these are cast iron, and they're bored 3/1000 under, 3/4 of an inch, and they'll be lapped to 3/4 once I get the pistons made, and we'll lap the pistons and the cylinder head. We'll lap them together. Anyway, that's sort of the progress on that. There's a plate gear cover that'll go down here on this end. You can see that that I haven't done anything with yet. And there's rails that will fit on the side here. turn around this way. These will fit on the side and raise the engine up off the floor. So that's the progress. A lot of mistakes. And thanks to Tom Lipton for helping me out on this. I had everything centered up with drills, and then I put my boring bar in there, and it wasn't square to the whirl, and so I put a question out to Tom, and he replied that needed to check my tram, and that is exactly what it was. It was off quite a bit, and I don't know exactly why. I have some theories, but anyway, I got it trammed in now, and this is not too far off, other than this the position of this, and I still don't understand that. So anyway, the other holes here, this one is tapped a quarter 20, and that's for what they call a pressure regulator. Not sure what it is yet. And then this is will be there'll be a dipstick here, and this is there's a little bit of work yet to do for that. And you can see here that I made a mistake, looks like twice. On top here you can see the that I've actually put an insert in there, and I soldered it in on both sides to try to straighten this up, and still it's screwed up. I may try that again, just bore this out, put another insert in there, and rebore it. But I've got to understand why I'm off, and I just don't understand that yet, and I want to do that. Let me try something here. I'll put the macro lens on and see if you can see this thing a little bit better. Okay, I have the macro lens on here, and maybe you can see things a little bit better. You can see here where I bored through the side, totally screwed that up, but the insert goes in there, and I'll probably just mill that lettering off there and make it all even. But we've got to get the problems fixed first. It's going pretty good, except for the problems I've had, and it's fairly easy. This is a Bob Shores called a silver bullet. Silver meaning it's made out of aluminum. And there's been several people built these, and they're quite a nice little engine. They run well from what I can see on YouTube. Anyway, this is with the macro lens on here, and you can maybe see the detail a little bit better on this thing. And anyway, I thought I'd show that, and any ideas how to help me out on this, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.